I don't know what is next.
Create more than you consume.
Yes.
So we're talking about. I mentioned Mario Kart, and I play some Mario Kart. What?
See, I have a problem. I have a problem with create more than you consume, just to begin with.
Really?
Yes, because if you're creating more than you consume, then who has time to consume? Who is actually going to be consuming your stuff if everybody has very little time to consume in relation to the amount they're creating?
Well, obviously this is for okay. First off, when I say create, I don't mean necessarily make records. I mean, I like making records. That's the thing I create.
Sure.
But you can create a political movement.
Sure.
You could create a blog. You could create an entry for your blog. You could upload an episode of your podcast. And everybody's got limited amount of time to consume. But what I've discovered is the key to happiness is make more than you consume and you'll be happier. Spend your time making.
That's the key to your happiness. That might not be the key to everyone's happiness.
Well,
to other people, that may just sound like more work.
The world needs fans too.
And so they are happier consuming rather than creating.
I'm not buying it for a minute. I've yet to meet anybody who consumes that is actually truly happy. They all create. Everybody I meet who's really, really happy, they're all making something that they're very proud of. And I'm not saying you have to go start your own television station. You could build a bookshelf. But making something tangible.
Sure, but that doesn't mean you have to create more than you consume. You could create and consume in equal measure.
It's an ideal. Because the reality is you have very little time to create or consume. We all have lives. We all have responsibilities.
Sure.
So you only have so much time to create, and you only have so much time to consume. But if you think about all that television you watch...
What television?
Not us. All that YouTube you're watching, you could spend that time working on something. And things like the reason it all works is because if we're all creating and we're all consuming each other's stuff, ultimately we'll just spend more time so it all balances out. If the world only has 10 minutes to listen to me, I will make the best 10 minutes ever. But then I need to be able to make something for that. That's the tough part when you're making large scale things like movies. Mm-hmm. Movies take like 3 years, and the collective effort of hundreds of people, at least on a large scale. Mm-hmm. And it's all to make 90 minutes of consumption. So somebody could still create for 2 hours and consume for 90 minutes, mm-hmm. and it still turns into a net positive for everybody. So create more than you consume. Or at least take it on as an ideal. Turn this on in the background and work on whatever you're working on to the sound of the dulcet sound of my voice, right? Mm-hmm. You can consume things passively while creating. That's fine.
Sure.
But the ideal is start making something and try to make something that will improve the world in some way. I try to make pleasant sounding music.
Okay.
That's the way I try to improve the world.
Okay.
Is through pleasant sounding music. I also make very angry music when I'm feeling like it, but I really like making pleasant music.
You do. You do.
I'm basically a smooth jazz musician when left to my own devices.
Yeah, you channel Kenny G there.
Not Kenny G. Boney James, Pat Metheny, George. All right. Not Kenny G, though.
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes you get close.
Little Mike Sterney. I mean, it only sounds like Kenny G because I'm still getting... Well, the last time I really let myself go full smooth, I was still getting the suck out of my playing. That's why you think Kenny G. All right. So, create. This episode's almost over. As soon as it's done, I want you to get up, hook up that thing you've been meaning to hook up, solve that problem you've been meaning to solve so that you can finally do that project you've been meaning to do, and go do it and show it to me. That's it. I'll check it out, but you have to make it. You can't You can't spend your whole life sitting around talking about how you're going to make it. You have to go make it.
Sure.
All right, what's next?